This is the story of Amina, a hard-working woman who lived in Lagos, Nigeria. Amina ran her small but successful business from home. She sold electronics and computer accessories through her company, Bright Tech Solutions. People respected her because she was smart, kind, and always ready to help others. Amina was married to Tunde, a gentle and loving man who worked as an accountant in a bank. They had 4 children, 2 boys, Chike and Emeka, and 2 girls, Ife and Zainab. The youngest, Zainab, was only 6 months old. Even though Amina had everything she needed, her life was not easy. She woke up very early to cook breakfast for the children and get them ready for school. Then she went to her small office to manage her business. By evening, she rushed home to care for her children and finish the house chores. Every day felt like a race, and sometimes she felt tired and worried. She loved her children and her work, but the stress was heavy. One day, after missing an important meeting because the baby had cried and her breakfast spilled, Amina realized she needed help. She needed someone she could trust to take care of the house and children. That was when she met Chinyere, a young and beautiful maid. Chinyere had a perfect record and glowing recommendations from previous employers. She smiled kindly when she met Amina, and at first, everything seemed perfect. Chinyere did everything well. She cleaned the house until it shone, cooked meals that were delicious, and played with the children. Amina and Tunde were amazed. They said to each other, "She is too perfect. Can someone be this good?" Slowly, Chinyere became part of the family. She woke up before everyone, made breakfast, took care of the children, and sometimes even anticipated what Amina needed before she asked. To the family, she seemed like a blessing from God. For weeks, everything went well. Amina could focus more on her business and relax a little at home. But sometimes, she noticed small things. When Chinyere looked at the children, her eyes seemed strange. She would smile in a way that made Amina feel uncomfortable. The children, however, loved her. The twins laughed loudly whenever Chinyere played with them, and the older children helped her with chores happily. No one else noticed anything unusual, so Amina tried to ignore the small worries in her heart. Every night, Amina prayed. She was a devoted Christian and believed that God protected her family. After putting the children to bed, she would kneel beside her bed and pray for her husband, children, and the house. She would ask God to keep her family safe from harm and evil. She prayed over every room, every toy, and even the kitchen. Her faith made her strong. Even though she felt tired, she believed her prayers formed a shield around her family. Meanwhile, Chinyere moved around the house silently. She seemed calm and peaceful, but there was something strange about her. When Amina prayed, Chinyere would walk softly around the house, her face calm but her eyes sharp. Amina sometimes felt a strange. Amina continued her life, balancing her business and family, unaware of the danger inside her home. Chinyere's true nature stayed hidden during the day, and she seemed helpful and kind, but at night, the house was not as safe as it appeared. Chinyere's dark powers were growing stronger. She could manipulate the shadows, and her dark figures became smarter, moving silently around the house, observing and waiting for their chance. One evening, Amina's mother, Mama Funke, came to visit. She was a wise woman who had lived through many trials and knew a lot about spiritual matters. Amina was happy to see her. Mama Funke hugged the children, checked their school uniforms, and examined the house with careful eyes. When she noticed Chinyere cleaning, she paused for a moment and frowned. "Child," Mama Funke whispered to Amina, "this girl, something about her is not right. I don't know yet, but my spirit is uneasy." Amina laughed nervously. "Mama, she has helped us so much. She is kind, hardworking, and takes care of the children. What could be wrong?" Mama Funke shook her head. "Sometimes the eyes do not tell the truth. Watch her carefully. Pray more. Protect your home." Amina felt worried, but tried to stay calm. She thanked her mother and promised to pray more. That night, she prayed harder than ever before. She prayed for protection, for strength, and for her family's safety. She sprinkled holy water in every corner, burned scented candles, and read Bible verses aloud. She felt some comfort, but deep down, she knew something dark was still inside her home. Meanwhile, Chinyere moved freely in the shadows. Her dark figures multiplied, and they learned to hide perfectly during the day. They watched Amina, Tunde, and the children. Chinyere's power grew each day, and she began testing the family. She would whisper strange words near the children while they slept, but they were too young to understand. She would move objects slightly so that Amina would feel nervous, but she never discovered the truth. One afternoon, while Amina was working on a big order for her business, Chinyere took the children to the garden. She told them stories of faraway lands and magical creatures. The children laughed and played, thinking she was just telling tales. But in reality, Chinyere was teaching the children spells and words that sounded innocent but were secretly commands for her dark spirits. Ife noticed something strange. She had a keen sense, much like her mother. The days passed slowly, each one heavier than the last. Amina woke early every morning, checking the house, praying with the children, and preparing for her work. Tunde helped as much as he could, but he also had his business to manage. They were exhausted, yet determined. Chinyere acted normal during the day, serving meals, helping with chores, and smiling sweetly. But her eyes sometimes flickered with darkness, a reminder of the storm inside her. She watched Amina carefully, trying to find weaknesses in the family's faith. One evening, after dinner, Amina noticed that the children were unusually quiet. Ife was frowning, and Zainab clutched her doll tightly. Amina asked softly, "What's wrong, my darlings?" Ife spoke hesitantly. "Chinyere, she told me a story today, a story about spirits that live in shadows. She said if we listen carefully, the shadows might talk to us. I didn't want to, but I heard them. They were whispering." Amina's heart sank. She hugged the children tightly. "Do not listen to those whispers. They are not our friends. They are lies. God is stronger. You must pray whenever you hear them." Tunde looked worried. "This is getting worse. We need more help." Amina agreed. She contacted Mama Funke again, and together they planned a stronger spiritual defense. Mama Funke brought new items, special candles, blessed salt, and holy oils. She explained every step to Amina and Tunde, showing them how to use the items properly to protect each room. That night, they prepared the house. Candles were placed at every corner, salt sprinkled across windowsills, and prayers were said aloud. The children slept with small charms tied around their wrists, given by Mama Funke. Even with all this, the house felt tense, almost alive with unseen energy. Chinyere sensed the changes immediately. Her whispers grew louder, and her dark figures moved restlessly. She could not penetrate the family's protections, and it frustrated her. She prowled the hallways at night, searching for any crack in their defenses. On the third night, Chinyere decided to try something dangerous. She approached Ife quietly as she slept. Her shadow figures surrounded the girl, trying to slip past the charms. But Ife woke suddenly, sensing the danger. She screamed, and Amina rushed in. Chinyere froze in the candlelight, her shadow form flickering. "You cannot stop me forever," she hissed. Amina stood firm. "We are not afraid of you. Leave this house, Chinyere." The dark figure lunged, but the family's prayers created a shield that forced Chinyere back. She shrieked, retreating into a corner, her figure twisting and shrinking in anger. Amina realized that the battle was no longer just spiritual, it was personal. Chinyere hated them because they resisted her. The next morning, Amina and Tunde spoke seriously. They decided they could not leave the house or ignore the problem. They needed a plan to remove Chinyere completely.
Mama Fung. After the frightening night with Chinyere, the family slowly returned to their normal routines. The house, once filled with tension and fear, now felt calm and peaceful. Amina woke each morning with gratitude, thankful that her children could laugh without fear and that her home was safe. The children, Ife and Zainab, were especially careful now. They prayed every morning before school and every night before bed. They learnt new songs and prayers from Mama Funke, who sometimes visited to check on their spiritual health. Always remember, Mama Funke would say, light chases darkness and love defeats fear. Amina noticed small changes in herself too. She had become stronger, more patient, and more observant. She started waking up earlier to prepare meals, check the house, and organize her day. Her business, which had suffered during the period of fear, slowly picked up. Customers noticed her calm confidence and they trusted her more. Tunde also changed. He was still busy with his work, but he paid more attention to the house and family. He would come home early sometimes just to spend time with the children. He taught them small things about responsibility, money, and how to take care of their home. Even though Chinyere was gone, the family did not forget the lessons they had learnt. They installed small charms in the house, not because they were afraid, but as reminders of faith, courage, and protection. Each corner of the house had something special, a little charm, a small candle, or a prayer note. School life returned to normal as well. Ife and Zainab were excited to see their friends again. Ife loved to tell small stories to her classmates, and Zainab shared songs she learned from Mama Funke. Sometimes, they would laugh about small silly things from before, though they never joked about Chinyere. One afternoon, Amina decided to take the children to the local market. Lagos was busy and lively, with colorful stalls and the smell of spices and fried food filling the air. She held Zainab's hand tightly, while Ife ran ahead to see the different shops. Tunde followed behind, carrying a small bag of fresh vegetables and fish. "Look at that, Mama!" Ife pointed to a stall with colorful beads. "Can you buy some to make bracelets?" Amina smiled. "Yes, my dear. We will make some tonight when we come back." The children laughed and played, careful to stay near their parents. Even in the busy market, there was a sense of safety. Amina felt her heart fill with joy. She realized that happiness was about small things: family, home, and faith. At home, evenings became their favorite time. They would cook together, eat together, and tell stories. Sometimes, Mama Funke would come and share old folk tales from her childhood, stories of brave children and clever animals. The children loved these stories and often asked for them again and again. Amina also started to teach the children small lessons about the world around them. She would explain why they must be careful with strangers, why honesty matters, and why kindness can defeat fear. Even little acts like helping a neighbor carry water or sharing food with someone hungry became lessons of courage and strength. Despite the happiness, the family stayed aware. They never forgot how close Chinyere had come. Every now and then, a shadow flickering in the corner or a sudden creak in the house would remind them to pray. These reminders kept their hearts humble and ready. One evening, after a long day, the family sat together outside their house. The sun was setting over Lagos, casting golden light on the busy streets. Amina watched her children play and Tunde laugh, and she felt a deep sense of peace. "Life is precious," she said softly, more to herself than anyone else. "We must protect."
After returning from the countryside, life in Lagos felt lively again, but calmer inside Amina and Tunde's home. The family began exploring more of their neighborhood. They visited local friends, shared meals with neighbors, and joined in small community events. Every outing was an opportunity to learn and grow. One sunny afternoon, Ife and Zainab were playing near a small park with other children from the neighborhood. The air smelled of freshly baked bread from a nearby bakery,
and the sound of children laughing filled the space. "Let's play hide and seek," Ife shouted. The children ran around, giggling as they hid behind trees and benches. Zainab's laughter rang out, and even the adults nearby smiled at their joy. Amina watched them, proud that the fear from the past had not stayed with her children. Later, they walked to the market to buy ingredients for dinner. Lagos markets were full of colors, sounds, and smells. Fish sizzled in pans, tomatoes shone like red jewels, and spices were piled high in baskets. Amina bought yams, vegetables, and fresh fish, while the children helped carry small baskets. On the way back, Ife noticed a small boy sitting alone by the roadside looking sad. "Mama, look, he's crying," she said. Amina knelt beside him. "Hello, my son, why are you sad?" The boy explained that his family had no food for the day. Zainab immediately took some of the yams they had bought. "Here, take this," she said shyly. Amina smiled. "See, children, kindness is important. Even small help can make someone happy." The boy's face lit up as he thanked them, and the children felt proud. This small act reminded them of the lessons Mama Funke had shared about courage, kindness, and helping others. Evenings became the family's favorite time again. They would gather for dinner, then sit outside to watch the sunset. Sometimes, Tunde would tell small stories from his childhood, and Amina would join in, adding lessons and reflections. The children loved these moments. They felt safe, loved, and proud. One day, the family decided to help organize a small festival in their neighborhood. Lagos was always bustling with events, but this one was special. Families brought food, children played games, and elders shared folk tales. Ife and Zainab joined in the games, winning small prizes, while Amina and Tunde helped with arranging tables and food stalls. During the festival, a storyteller came to the stage. He told stories of clever animals, brave children, and magical events that taught lessons about honesty, courage, and kindness. The children listened carefully, eyes wide with wonder. Afterwards, Ife whispered to Zainab, "We can be brave like the children in the story." "Yes," Zainab replied, "and we can be kind too." As weeks passed, Amina's business grew even more. People admired her calm and confident nature. She started teaching some younger women in the neighborhood about running small businesses, saving money, and managing homes. The children watched their mother and learned that strength came from both love and action. Tunde also began to spend more time with the children. He taught Ife to read maps and count money, and the next few weeks were full of small, happy moments. Amina taught Ife how to cook simple dishes like beans porridge and fried plantain, while Tunde showed Zainab how to fold clothes neatly and organize the small backyard garden. The children learned that even ordinary tasks could be fun when done together. One afternoon, Ife decided to invite some friends over to their home. They played games, shared snacks, and told stories. Zainab sang a little song for everyone, and the friends clapped and cheered. Amina and Tunde watched quietly, happy to see their children spreading joy. The family also visited Mama Funke regularly. The old woman had a small herb garden, and she taught the children how to plant seeds, water them carefully, and care for them as they grew. "Life is like this garden," Mama Funke said one day. "With love, patience, and care, it will grow strong and beautiful." The children listened carefully, nodding, understanding that small actions could bring big results. Sometimes, when Lagos felt too busy or noisy, the family took short trips outside the city. They visited farms, small villages, and rivers. They met farmers, fishermen, and market sellers, learning from each person's story. Every trip was a lesson in respect, hard work, and gratitude.
Even at school, Ife and Zainab began helping other children. Ife taught younger classmates how to read better, while Zainab encouraged shy children to join games. Their teachers noticed the kindness and patience in both of them, and they often praised the children for their helpfulness. One evening, Tunde asked the children to help clean the small river near their home. They picked up litter, cleaned the water edges, and even helped some small fish that were stuck. The children felt proud of their work. Even small acts of kindness can make the world better, Tunde said. The family's faith and courage grew stronger each day. Whenever challenges came, like a neighbor's house being flooded during heavy rains or someone falling sick, they worked together to help. They realized that courage was not just about facing fear alone, but also helping others in times of need. The children often remembered the scary time with Chinyere, the woman who had tried to harm them, but instead of fear, they now felt gratitude. They had learned bravery, love, and kindness.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting new tale. See you in the next one.